I think the biggest thing for me was learning how to delegate well. I'm one of those people that, like, if I know I can do it better, I'm not going to hand it off to somebody else.
Yeah, and it makes sense because you get used to fixing everything. There's no time to train somebody else.
The moment that you let your team know, it's always a choice, and you're not there to control them or even control what the media looks like. I don't know if I would still be doing it if not because of them.
Wow. All right, growing a media team is hard. Starting a media team is hard, but I think we can all agree that starting one before a church launch in most respects is harder. So today I've got a good friend, Mason Rollins, with me. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, dude. I'm honored to be here.
You started a media team before your church launch. Now, so I want to start from the beginning. Your pastors come to you, and or your parents, excuse me. they were your pastors before that as well. But your parents come to you, and they're like, "All right, we're going to start a church, and we want you to head up the media side of things."
So, not really.
Not really? Okay. What happened?
So, we were going through a transition of my parents pastoring a sister church, so a campus of like a bigger church,
Mm-hmm.
and they thought it was time that like the Lord was calling them to do something on their own, like that they would lead and head up. And so basically, they came to me and just told me about it and said, "You don't have to do anything for us. We would love for you to join us, though." And 2 weeks later was the Armed Media Conference in 2022.
That's
I'm
not
pretty sure.
prophetic at all.
Yeah, it was the first one too.
Yeah.
And it was incredible. Like, it opened my eyes to what media can do, how fun it can be, and just how you can get people to gather around it and it be almost like a community thing.
Mm.
And it was incredible. So I then, like literally halfway through the conference, I was like, "Would you guys be okay?" Oh, this is to my parents. I was like, "Would you guys be okay if I started a media team and we recorded all the services,
Wow.
did interviews, did all this stuff? Would you guys be okay with that?" And my mom, if you know my mom, she freaked out.
Yeah.
She was like, "Yes, yes." My dad was like, "We can definitely do this." So yeah, it was,
They're so cool, by the way.
oh,
Yeah.
they're incredible.
Yeah.
Um,
We're your whole family.
yeah, yeah, everybody's doing awesome stuff, but yeah, it was cool. And it was awesome to feel like, they didn't really need me to do anything, but they were open to whatever.
Mm.
And so really grateful for them.
That's amazing. So Armed happens, and is this like during that transition time, or is this while they're still
So it's before we had our first like even interest meeting.
okay?
I think it's before we even announced that
Okay.
we're planning a church. I could be wrong. It was a crazy time, man.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
So I think people in that stage are like, okay, people. How do I find people? Where do I find people? What do I do when I have people?
Yeah.
So was that going through your mind then? Like, was that your first thought, or were you thinking equipment? What was your
Not really.
Yeah.
I personally was thinking, man, I don't really see anybody doing media that has a similar calling and I guess flavor
Mm.
to my parents. And so my challenge was honestly, because I knew the Lord would provide people. My challenge was really, how do I try to capture my parents? Because they're not really people that it might have been this way for your dad in the beginning. Like, they're not really used to cameras.
Mm.
Different time for them.
Oh, he's still not used to cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, just I think the biggest challenge for me was making it something not just for people my age, but making it for people older.
Mm.
Actually, half of my media team now is like dads. Like, they're like 40
That's so cool.
and on, but the other half is like people my age.
Yeah.
So I think it's great doing media along with like adults and kids, because it's just such an awesome thing to do and relate with one another.
I guess the vision service happens,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
By this point, what kind of equipment are you using? Like, you're using phone mainly, or do you have another camera? Or because I remember you guys were posting some fire stuff from the beginning, like from the get go.
Yeah. So it was honestly just depending on people in our congregation to be.
So like everyone was getting like video and pictures.
Yes, and they were
That's
sending them
cool.
to me.
Yeah.
We didn't actually launch any like Instagram, YouTube, Facebook until November, and we made the announcement in September and
Mm.
started meeting late September.
Yeah.
My dad was actually in Israel when we launched our media.
I remember the video.
Yeah. Our first video
That's
was
so
him
cool.
him just like pointing at all the scenery and like saying like, I'm where Jesus was, and welcome to First Family. And um so it was really cool.
That's neat. Okay, so I think you unlocked something powerful because people like me, at least, when you're handed a media team, and well, there's no team. You're like the. I've been to many churches where the media team is mainly one guy, right?
Yeah.
And that guy is carrying a lot on his shoulders. He's one of the most faithful people you'll ever meet, and he knows how to work hard and get the job done
Yep.
as well as he can, at least. And kind of branching beyond that is tough.
Yes.
And it makes sense because you get used to fixing everything.
Mhm.
There's no time to train somebody else. Maybe we'll get to that in a minute. But their thought is, well, I don't have time to get the content for social media, or I have to run sound. I can't record videos. So you had like everyone in the congregation getting footage, getting pictures. That's powerful. Was that like, so for you, do you regret doing that, or are you excited that that was the case?
No, I don't think I regretted it. I think it was hard turning down um a lot of the photos I couldn't use.
Oh, yeah.
Not everyone's called to be a photo taker,
Yeah.
but it's just the thought that counts. Like
Mhm.
it's so easy to do big tasks when you're surrounded by a great community. The community for me in the past year and a half of doing this has been what's kept me steady. Steady. Also, the Lord as well, but
Yeah.
the Lord works through your community so much. So I really did appreciate everybody who was taking video, taking photos, sending it to me every week.
That's nice.
It was great.
Okay, so they send it to you, or did you have like a Dropbox folder or a Drive folder? I'm thinking more like tactical now.
So I was never really good at organization when it comes to files.
Yeah. Okay.
So honestly, I would just save it to my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And like, cause they'd either send it to me through Instagram or through messages.
Yeah.
And I would just save it in my camera roll and just know it's there.
Yep.
So
So you can use it.
because it's not like I was getting like hundreds of photos like every single week.
Right.
It was like maybe like 10. So
Which is a carousel post,
yeah, it was great.
I guess whenever you're doing that, you're starting to see people that are like good at this kind of stuff. They have an eye for what to look for. So did you go to them personally and recruit them, or did you do like a mass announcement and have them all like sign up, or what did that look like?
So it was clear.
Auditions.
Auditions.
Yeah.
So it was clear from the very start that I was going to be doing the media for First Family. Some people were kind of just like, okay, I guess he's going to use his iPhone or something. So we didn't really like talk that much about it, like
Mhm.
to the people, until when we launched, like the day we launched
Yeah.
Instagram and YouTube, and we kind of made it this big announcement to where I said, I'm going to need all the help I can get with media. If the Lord's moving you to do this and help with the mission,
Mm-hmm.
then sign up tonight. It was like a service. You and your dad were there too, explaining.
You gave like one of the most powerful messages, like especially when it comes to media. It was so amazing.
Dude,
And then the call to action was perfect. So
thank
yeah.
you, man.
I wasn't surprised when I saw like 50 people go to sign up for the media team.
Yeah, it was so awesome because like it would be like fathers and sons would be on the team together. Moms and daughters would be on the team
It's almost
together.
like it's a family thing.
Yeah, and like we have one family in our church that they're related to like half of our church.
Really?
So it was cool because like so many of them were on our team.
Mhm.
So it really did feel like a family because
Yeah.
half of them already were family.
That's cool. Cousins and uncles and aunts.
Yeah. All
That's
that
neat.
stuff, man.
Nice. Okay. So you've got you just people signed up, right? You had like a little sheet. People wrote down was their phone number, email, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
What was your next step? So obviously people are thinking, okay, maybe equipment or communication, apps, softwares. What are
Yeah.
you using? Like, let's get tactical with this thing.
I was not in charge of any graphics of any sort for the first year, man, it was great.
Yeah. You were
Um,
free.
I was free. My biggest fear in all of this has been learning new platforms to use.
Hmm.
It's not really a fear. It's just I know I'm going to get work done in half the amount of time that I used to.
Yeah.
Until I get good at it, because then it'll pay off eventually.
Yep.
At the very start, literally all I used was Instagram, like to make reels.
Mm-hmm.
I would use Instagram and just clip together videos I put on my phone,
Nice.
because they really do have a good system of like making reels.
Yeah.
Like
It's clean.
inside their app, and they like it more too. If they see the captions,
If they're done in app.
if they're done in app,
That's cool.
they like it a lot more.
Yeah.
And they're way more likely to promote it. And if you make your own template, they'll literally show your videos in people's feeds and
Really?
say, use this template.
I don't know how to make a template. You'll have to show me.
Dude,
I've never seen that. Is there a button that says save as template or?
not really. You literally just like say you had 6 different videos in your phone and you want to make it just one reel.
Yeah. With music or something.
With music, yeah. So it would save the amount of time that you had in each video. Like say like you were doing it on beat to the music,
Yeah.
which usually we like to do just because it keeps the attention a little more.
Yep.
If you do that and say it's like with a song that's about to start trending,
Yeah.
then they'll eat it up, man,
Blow
and
up.
they'll literally like so people can say use this template, and it's not even like you did anything crazy. You just tried to sync it up with the music.
Yeah. That's cool.
And it will,
Okay, Drew, write that down. We need to do that.
write it
We need to
down,
do that.
man.
So, yeah. So, okay. You're unlocking so many things. I'm trying to think of where we need to.
So
go from
you
there.
asked me what I used.
Yeah.
I just used Instagram in the very start. I was so bad with Facebook. Never touched Facebook until the church launched, man.
Mm.
I honestly still am really, really not that great at Facebook.
Yeah.
Just because,
Oh, yeah, you're terrible. I'm just kidding.
yeah. Oh, thanks, man.
I have no idea where to start with Facebook.
Yeah. And I didn't get any media equipment until I think 20 days before our church launched.
Wow, yeah.
So then in those 20 days, I remember it was just learning.
Yeah.
You came over a lot and helped.
One of my favorite memories is walking into your house and seeing the pool table covered in boxes,
Yeah.
tripods, cameras.
Man.
It was so cool.
It was a surreal feeling. I remember like walking, I think we were out of town. I came back in town and I just saw the front door was like,
You couldn't even see the
stacks.
front door. Yeah.
It was crazy. And I remember one night I brought it all in and started unpackaging. And I was like, man, I should probably learn how to use all of this. Because before the media conference, like I couldn't even tell you what brand cameras were. Like
Mm.
I probably knew Sony and Canon,
Yeah.
but that was it.
Yeah. You've heard of the wars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But yeah, so we started unpacking all that equipment. We started messing around with it. I remember I had my friends over and we ended up making a little short film that we never finished, but it was,
We need to see this.
I'll show you.
Yeah.
I had no idea what to do with any camera settings. It almost looked like it was intentional, but
Like
it
intentionally
wasn't
bad.
intentional.
Yeah.
And we made a short film about, it was me and my friends, Derek and Noah. They are like,
Let's go.
oh my gosh. So you know how like that story of Moses where
Lifting
two
the
people
hands.
lifted his hands? I feel like Noah and Derek, during all of this media stuff,
Wow.
they were the two people lifting my hands. We recorded a short film about them two gambling over a pool game because we have that pool
Yeah.
table, and Noah ends up winning and just walking away with all the money. We made it super cinematic. It was
Yeah.
funny.
We're
But-
using the Shure SM7Bs to record the audio, or
No, so we made it like a silent film kind of.
Oh, okay,
because
nice.
dude, I hardly knew how to work the cameras.
Yeah.
I didn't want to mess around with
Yeah, not even bringing in the microphones.
anything else, but
That's cool. Okay, so you're starting to see like Derek and Noah.
yeah,
They're like really stepping up,
for sure.
which is cool. So when you create positions for people, you start to see people step up or take interest or not. Like you start to see that, and I think we should encourage that because
yeah,
if they don't like what they're doing, then we don't want to try to, drag them along for as
Yeah.
long as possible.
yeah,
But Derek and Noah, you didn't have to drag them along. They just like doing media.
yeah. They caught on, man. Like I don't know if I would still be doing it if not because of them.
Wow.
Like, honestly, because there'd be weeks where they walk in and they know how to use some of the pieces of equipment more than I do, just because they've been watching YouTube videos.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's your team, I think, means so much. If you have a good team, you're gonna have good content.
Mm.
That's just the way it works.
Okay, so let's break that down. Because I think, and I've heard John Maxwell say every problem is a leadership problem, right?
Mm.
It all boils down to leadership, and I think you've been an amazing leader. So
Thanks.
I wanna like break down your system, break down your process, because you're not like the normal carbon copy media leader guy. Who are you looking at right now?
Oh, nobody.
You're not the normal like carbon copy. You went to college for this. You know the step by step. You're gonna use this, this, and this.
Yes.
I'm not like diminishing you in any way. I'm saying you.
No,
like,
yeah.
You're like a rebel. You've seen Star Wars. You're like a rebel base that you figured everything out, and it's like I don't know if that makes sense.
It does, I think. So for a while there, it was really just I had Noah and Derek on every week.
Yeah,
And like I'd give him like
those poor guys.
I'd give him monthly breaks. And I'd always make it clear, if you're getting burnt out, please let me know.
Mm.
I think I said that from the very start. Like,
Yeah.
when we had our first media meeting, even when we didn't have any equipment, I said, if you guys are getting burnt out, like you need to tell me.
Mm.
But if you're not, we need all hands on deck.
Basically, I'm just gonna keep calling on you.
Yeah. So I made it very clear that you never had to serve, but you're more than welcome to as much as you want.
Mm.
My friends have helped a lot. Now it's gotten to a point where I have so many people on the team where I just have a monthly rotation now.
Mm.
And it's been incredible. So we have people in charge of sending out the schedules and all that stuff. I have like certain groups of people I know work well together.
Mm.
And so I usually schedule them together on certain weeks. And it's been great.
What do you use for like team communication?
Email.
Email, guys.
We're old school, man.
That's what I'm talking about. So we just moved to Discord.
Whoa.
Yeah. So the media team has a Discord. Well, technically, all volunteers. Okay, let me take this back. All of our volunteers are in our Discord server, our volunteer Discord server. We have a dream team part of it where the key leaders are in that. There's cleaning, there's children's ministry, shipping and receiving, which has been big because
That's
of
crazy, man.
Encounter Coffee.
Coffee.
Not a sponsor yet, but we'll get there. It was sitting right there, so I had to use it. And we've got the media team in the Discord as well. So we've got in there, we've got different channels for the media team. So we've got lighting, cameras, like general and random.
And that's like free.
Yeah, it's free, totally free.
Wow. My media person who's not out there, write that down.
Yeah, you should. But seriously, Discord, and I got a guy I'll get you in touch with. I can set it up for you,
dude,
if you want.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, Logan. So we have to tell Logan that he's got another customer.
Let's go.
So,
customer.
So have you met Logan? Logan Frick?
Yes.
But he's a Discord genius.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
There we go.
He built the server, and it's like, whoa, he uses emojis and makes it all fancy and stuff. So
is Pastor Allen in there just spamming gifts?
He is, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it'll be cool. Well, we'll get you in there so you can see how it looks. So
oh, dude, that'd be
cool.
Great.
Anyway, so that's what does Omar say? That's free game.
He says a lot of stuff.
It's free game.
It's
free game for you. Yeah. Okay, moving on. Unless you want to keep talking about that.
We're missing a huge part of all of this, man.
What is it?
For like 5 months, I interned with you.
That's right. You were here.
Yeah.
So in this room, you were like, I just had you working nonstop all the time on everything.
I was the encounter slave.
Yes. For lack of a better word. I'm not trying to like toot my own horn here, but what did you learn during that time? I was trying to be somewhat hands off and just kind of throw you in there and let you kind of figure it out with everybody else.
Yeah, I felt that.
Was that the right approach?
No, it was great.
Okay.
It was great. I felt like I was a part of the family.
Yeah.
Like immediately. It was incredible.
That's cool.
I was able to learn pretty much every single position.
Yeah.
And it was great. I got to use a camera for the first time, which is really cool. And
Sony.
yeah,
Yeah.
Sony, which, our cameras are better. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, yeah, we're using Blackmagics now.
Yeah, there we go.
For streaming, I think Blackmagic wins, but I don't know.
Well, there you go.
We're taking pictures on the Sony and B-roll on the Sony and
Okay.
using Blackmagic for streaming and recording.
Well, that's awesome. I think for pictures we use a Canon. I could be wrong, but
Okay.
sorry, man.
That's okay.
We should fight about it actually. Right
Okay,
now.
let's fight. Let's fight right now.
Being here, I learned, your facial hair is great when it's there. It's great when it's gone.
That's key.
Yeah. Dude, like I remember there'd be Sundays. This is a side note, but I remember there'd be Sundays where like you just were super like clean shaved. Then the next Sunday your beard would be like so full. I'm
I'm
like,
Italian. I don't know what.
dude, I can't even grow anything. Like, what's going on?
Well, I think you will.
Eventually.
Yeah.
You know.
I can't like grow something substantial. It's just like there, but it's not.
Oh
Not
my
yet,
goodness.
at least.
That's the enemy in your head, man.
I'm praying. I believe in God.
That's
Calling in by faith in Jesus' name. Okay, let's get back.
Yep.
Get back on target. I mean, my facial hair is a good topic, but we can move
It's
on.
always a good
We
topic.
can move on now.
But no, interning with you guys was incredible. I think just learning the team dynamic and learning how to lead the team and learning, I think the biggest thing for me was learning how to delegate well.
Mm.
Because I'm one of those people that like, if I know I can do it better, I'm not going to hand it off to somebody else.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest temptation has been to do everything myself.
Mm.
It's just I would get so burnt out if I did everything myself.
Yeah.
So
Well, you can't advance. You can't move forward.
Yeah. So delegating to my team was something major that I learned here, and trusting them, especially younger people. Encounter has like a bunch of young camera workers and
It's our youth
media
group.
team. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And so just being able to trust younger people with a camera and with the equipment, and they honestly, they deliver. It's great.
Yeah.
And there wouldn't be media at First Family if not for Encounter. So
Wow. That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. It means a
course.
lot. Okay, so I think we want to stick on that vein, delegation.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't know if this is the case for you. I've kind of gotten to the point where there's new equipment, there's new softwares that I've stayed away from because if I try to be the master of that, then I kind of choke the life out of that.
Okay.
So, like ProPresenter 7.
Okay.
I've stayed purposefully. I've purposely stayed away from ProPresenter because my sister's better at it than I am
Really?
now, and I could probably throw something up on the wall, but if there's an issue, it'll take me a minute to figure out how to fix it. And people come to me and like, can you fix ProPresenter? I'm like, I don't know anything about ProPresenter.
Wow.
You'll have to YouTube it or something.
Wow.
I think that's been not that we should be lazy and not learn our stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I think that's what. Have you done that at all, or what do you think? What do you think about? Is that the right approach? Correct me right now.
No, that's a great approach, and I
Okay.
really honestly admire it. The only area where that's been the case, usually worship people are over sound,
Mm-hmm.
because we're such a small church plant and we don't really have a person in charge of worship right now.
Mm.
The sound department falls under me,
Uh-huh.
and I've honestly got I've got two guys that know so much more about sound than I do.
Hey. Come on.
And I just don't even want to honestly think about it. They're doing great. They know way more than me. Like literally during service, I've got this guy who will look up different ways of EQing. We use a Behringer X32,
Yeah.
and
Nice board.
yeah, it's great. And he's got his iPad connected to it, so he'll
Oh,
just
cool.
look up like right beside me because I'll be on switcher during service, and he'll be beside me running sound. He'll just look up ways on like how to EQ vocals and get rid of different like humming noises. And
That's
like
cool.
it's super awesome, man.
Yeah.
To feel like not all the pressure is on one person.
I heard, and I'm actually gonna get to this book here in a second. Book by Patrick Bet-David called Your Next 5 Moves. Love him or hate him, he's a brilliant businessman, and I've been like I haven't finished this book yet, I've been taking some of these principles and kind of applying them. I just started like 2 weeks ago. But I just read this morning the thought of the intrapreneur,
Hmm.
and it's different from an entrepreneur, and I'll explain why. The intrapreneur, Patrick Bet-David explains, is an entrepreneur that works for you, basically.
Wow.
So he's describing it in the business world, and we'll kind of apply this to the media, church media world. So an entrepreneur is someone that has a vision, that you can give them something, and you're going to have to, pay them well. You're going to have to treat them well because, everybody wants them. They could go off and do their own thing and be just as successful.
Yeah, for sure.
But instead, they're like serving under you. So instead of choking the life out of them, you have to give them space, and you're going to grow because of that. So that's an entrepreneur because it's inside a company. Entrepreneur is kind of outside.
Yeah.
So I think what we do, media leaders, myself, I've done this. We have people in our team, and we have a vision, right?
Yes.
It might be limited, but we have a vision.
Yes.
And we have an idea of what an idyllic media team looks like.
Yep.
And we're trying to get to that, but along the way, there's probably better vision that our team members have, and there's frustration that comes because they know we could be doing better in certain areas than we are.
For sure.
And if we keep them, if we like hold the reins on them, I think that, sucks the life out of it. And, what do you think?
If your goal is to control, then you're going to suck out the life of the dreams and the hopes of your whole team. But if your goal is to be kind of like this launch pad, if you just give them the resources and you let their minds kind of go wild and imagine and dream and hope, and if you just foster that and say, yeah, I mean, you guys are welcome to do all that. Like
It's all on the table.
It's so much more healthy, and they always feel like they have a choice.
Yeah.
Not to get like this is. I know this isn't like a spiritual podcast, but like
make spiritual, Mason.
well, there you go. It's the Lord never desires to control us. He always gives us a choice, like back in the garden.
Yeah, there's always choice.
And so, the moment that you let your team know it's always a choice, and you're not there to control them or even control what the media looks like, they feel so much more free to be themselves in their positions and to pitch you ideas and to really be a team.
Yeah.
Really work together well. And so there's been so many times where my team has come to me with different ideas, and I'm sure at first I've been a little stubborn, like, no.
Yeah.
But in the long run, it's just been incredible. The moment that you just let others have a say, and you're not just doing whatever you think is best, then you've got something good. You've got something healthy for sure.
Let's look at the inverse side of that.
Okay.
They have an idea to do something that is not going to work.
Okay.
Of course, there are limitations to this, and we're not saying let them go do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Let's try to shoot the video without lenses on the camera. That's not. You're not going to do that. It's not.
Probably not.
Everything's going to be blown out. It's not going to work. So, I mean, at that point, you can tell them, well, love the idea, love the vision.
Yeah.
But in my experience, it's probably not going to work. But if you'd like to give it a shot, maybe there's a way to communicate that.
Yeah.
Or if it's not bad enough to where it'll ruin everything, like the what's the word? The risk. That's what I'm looking for. The risk isn't that high.
Yeah.
What do you say? So at that point, do you kind of let them do it? And if they fail, and they come back to you and like, Mason, it didn't work. What's your response?
A lot of times, if people come to me with ideas, if it's just an idea that they want me to do all by myself, then I don't roll it off, but I don't really take it as serious.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But if they're willing to help me and do it and execute it, then
yeah, man, let's go.
Then let's do it. I think it's so easy for media work to get really like isolated.
Yeah.
And so it's always incredible when somebody has an idea and they'd love to partner with you to execute it.
This is fire, man.
That's why we're here. You know, to be together.
Yeah, exactly.
So
they come back, it didn't work. Do you say I told you so? Or what do you say? I've never heard Jesus say I told you so, but
I say I told you so. No,
Mason says it.
being honest, I don't know if I've ever had an idea where it hasn't worked.
Hmm.
So hypothetically, what would I say? Hey, it didn't work, but I love you anyways.
Yeah,
You know?
let's do something else. Let's
Yeah.
try something else.
Yeah. First Family has honestly taken a route recently where we're a lot more internal with our media.
Mm.
And that's more of a personal decision. It's not that we're not trying to reach people. It's
Mhm.
we're really focusing on the inward and strengthening the family aspect of our media.
I
And
don't know. Some of us want to see your stuff, man. By the
Well-
way, we'll link up everything in the description, so
Well,
everyone can
dude.
go subscribe to their. I mean, no one's subscribed to us yet, but they'll.
well, I appreciate it. Man.
Yeah.
Like the other week, I can send you all these videos are unlisted, but I can send it to you.
Dude.
It's a kids series.
Okay.
It's specifically for the classroom to so people explain before and after, and showing the video.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
So
I like that.
it's a 8 video series
Yeah.
of kids learning how to hear the voice of God.
Dude.
It's incredible. So I had 2 of my friends help out along with our kids leader, and one of my
She's
friends.
awesome, by the way.
Oh, she's so great.
Yeah.
One of my friends dressed up as Moses for it, and it was awesome because he was talking like Gandalf, and just stuff like that. It's so fun to just work with people
Mm-hmm.
and be together doing all of it. So
That's nice. All right. I think we'll move on from that topic. Not necessarily, because this is still along the same lines, but this is a quote from Elon Musk's brother. His name was Kimball. So Kimball Musk is. I think he's still alive. I hope he's still alive. He was talking about Elon. He said, "There's a thing in chess where you can see 12 moves ahead if you're a grandmaster, and in any particular situation, Elon can see things 12 moves ahead." So I think we're at the point now where I want to talk to you about, well, what is your next move? What's your plan? What's your vision? 5 moves down the line. I mean, we're not thinking 12 moves ahead necessarily, because a camera could die, or
yeah,
vision completely from above completely changes.
Yeah.
So we're not 12 moves ahead, 12 years ahead, but what's kind of your next thing?
So 2 things. Number 1, my cousin, who's 36, lives in Dallas, Texas, or lives in the Texas area. He recently just came to town. Like a year ago, he was set free from a homosexual lifestyle.
No way.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
His testimony is crazy.
Praise God.
And so we just recorded the other night a interview with my dad and him.
Wow.
And so I think our next main focus is putting that on display, because honestly, it's really rare to talk with people who are set free from the homosexual lifestyle. Because right now I think there's a big cry for help where people don't really know how to love or address that right now in the church.
Yeah, and do it the right way.
And do it the right way without, hurting them.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to really put a highlight on Tyler's story on our YouTube channel coming up. And I'm really excited for that. He's an awesome guy.
That's so cool.
And it's really cool that my dad, it's my dad's nephew, and he gets to interview his nephew about it. It's just such an awesome thing. So that's probably a big next step. But also, we have our 1-year anniversary of being a full church
in
coming
February?
up. February 3rd through 4th, man.
Come on, man.
So it's going to be awesome. I'm actually taking a month break from media after that. Not to get too deep in it, but I've never gone to church 2 weeks in a row without serving. In my life. Besides kids ministry. As soon as I got out of kids ministry, I started serving in kids ministry, led the kids ministry, and then started media.
Yeah.
And so it's really just a personal break, just so, we're not defined by what we do, and we're not the Lord doesn't love us depending on how useful we are. So I think I've always thought that, but I've never really actually believed it because I've always been serving.
Yeah.
And so I'm just taking that month break to kind of just evaluate for my own personal journey.
And receive.
Yeah. I don't know what it means to go to church without having something to think about.
You're gonna be bored out of your mind. Prophesying right now.
I'm gonna be like, that light needs to be a little bit brighter.
I'll be interested. We'll have to do another podcast and can hear what you receive during that time, because
that would be so
that'll
awesome.
be an unlock. Yeah. But what's cool is you'll be able to do that, and media doesn't stop because you take a break.
Yeah, it's true.
It's still going. All right, so you're gonna take a month break. What do you think is gonna be the number one takeaway from that? What are you expecting?
Like, it's to evaluate the main reason why I'm doing it, honestly. I'm kind of coming into my own. I'm 18, out of school, becoming my own person, and I think the main reason I'm taking a break is make sure the only reason I'm doing media is not just because I feel trapped in it.
Hmm.
You know, like, it's great to have an awesome team, but if you feel like if you left, everything would fall in shambles.
That's a dangerous place.
That's a dangerous place to be. And I just don't want to be in that position only to please people.
Yeah.
I want to do it because, number one, it's what I'm supposed to be doing. It's bringing life to me and to others. I don't want it to strain on me and then 3 years down the road I get so burnt out that, I don't know, I do something irrational.
Yeah.
So
You remember Terminal 2022?
I do.
Were you working that, by the way? Were you like helping us out with? I think you were.
Well, so 2022, that was
when Pastor, my dad, wasn't able to be there because he had COVID.
yeah. So we were in the building that you guys do TEC in, right?
Yeah, it was the East Side Church.
Yeah, I helped with that. I'm pretty sure, and then I helped with the event you did with Chad, and then I helped with the event you did with, oh man, I'm forgetting his name. It's really
Troy Brewer.
Troy Brewer.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that the Terminal 2022, we had it was I don't even know how this happened. We had Troy Brewer, Emma Stark,
Wow.
I think Jeremiah Johnson, Lou Engle, which getting to meet Lou Engle was like one of the greatest moments of my life, and he loved Alana, loved Alana.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, we're sitting there eating. I don't remember. We're eating something. It was good, but the conversation was amazing. Anyway, and he's just a vision guy, and I'm just thinking about him. I'm starting to, feel that the Lou Engle rock, the prayer and what he imparted was amazing. Then you get to Sunday evening, Emma Stark, again, love her or hate her. She's a prophetess from Ireland. No, she's in Scotland now. She's from Ireland originally. Yep. Sunday night was wild. And then she wanted to do, and Pastor asked her about this beforehand, a discipleship training with volunteers and Dream Team.
Are you sure this was 2022?
Yeah, because Pastor was not there. This was a weird moment.
Because I thought this was the year before I came, because my parents went there, but I remember I didn't really know who you guys were, because I remember they were there at the discipleship training.
That Monday morning?
Yeah, they were there. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so they would remember this.
Yeah.
Okay. So I need to figure out what year it was. This was early 2022.
Okay.
It was the new year. Yeah, and that's when. And then we had Armed later in the year, so that's starting to make sense now.
Yeah. So I didn't know you until later that year.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so Emma Stark does this discipleship thing, and did she start by prophesying? No, she started by teaching, and then she prophesied over certain people.
Okay.
And she said something that I'll never forget. She said, "You should be replaced in 18 months."
Wow.
So wherever you're at in the church, someone else should take your spot in 18 months, and you should be doing something else. Now, not that we have to stick to 18 months, or we have to be led, right? The answer to 1,000 questions is to be led. But thinking in 18 months, time frame, and you're kind of coming up on that. I don't know if this is something you could take and run with. Not that you leave media.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
So if I was thinking, okay, it's about time to kind of transition. It's been actually 2 years, so almost about 18 months since we got that word. So I guess I should start thinking, who can take my place? Because the kingdom of God is all about legacy. It's all about letting people step up.
Yeah.
And so maybe I need to be thinking, should Drew be there? I'm talking about him. He's right over here. He's looking at Instagram or something.
Fired.
No, so I need to be thinking not that I'm not the media director anymore, but whatever I'm doing, someone else should be doing.
Yeah, for sure. I get exactly what you're saying. And that's been the hardest part for me is all of my friends are about to go to college.
Oh, man.
So.
They need to go to college? What are they doing?
Yeah. I'm like, you're not even going to use your degree, man. Yeah. I'm just kidding.
Gender studies. Just kidding.
actually going to Liberty, or my friend's going to Liberty.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
That's good. But
Yeah, Liberty's awesome.
yeah, they're all going to college in like different schools, so it's not like I can transfer it to them. So that's been really weird. Like, uh, I don't really have anybody that I know that I could really transfer all of this information to
Mm.
with the promise of them still being around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I might be a year longer than they are. So,
Yeah.
I think I'm in a very specific situation.
Yeah.
But I try my best to always have a spot. Like when I told my friend Noah that I'm taking this break to evaluate and to be poured into,
Mm-hmm.
he immediately was like, "Well, I can do all the media stuff for a month."
Wow. Come on.
And that's just like it blesses me so much that number one, somebody would care to do that
Mm-hmm.
and care to keep the ministry alive, and number two, that even though that would take up so much of his time, and he's already like trying to graduate high school and doing all this stuff, that he would still want to do that.
Yeah.
So
then I guess the thought process would be having them replicate themselves.
yeah, almost.
So they've got, are they starting like college this fall? This
This
coming
fall.
Okay. So they've got like, solid 6 months, maybe 5 months
Yeah.
to kind of take people under their wing. So maybe your job is to encourage them to train up some others.
Yeah, it's really putting it to prayer, honestly.
Hmm.
Like I can't name off the top of my head who would we pour into, you know? So asking the Lord who would he want for us to do that with?
Well, he's all about impartation.
Oh, for sure.
So I think he's got some people in the wings that he's ready to bring in.
Yeah.
That's so cool though. So you got the space for it.
Yeah.
What's powerful about this month is you're going to learn more about yourself.
Yeah.
And I got some quotes here. Let me see. Lao Tzu. I don't know if he's related to Sun Tzu. Could be. At the center of your being, you have the answer. You know who you are and you know what you want. So whenever I read that quote, I don't want to think in the new agey, like know yourself, man.
Yeah.
That weird, because there's you can go so wrong when you're focusing on, what do I like actually want? Because
Yeah.
if I go with what I want, then I'm not going to be where God wants me to be. If I'm like doing it, if I'm doing whatever I want because it's what I enjoy doing, that's the wrong motive and it won't last long and I'll get burnt out. So I have to think, sure, the answer is inside me, but it's not because I have all the answers. It's because the one inside me, the Holy
Yeah.
Spirit, he knows where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
So I think this time of prayer is going to be vital for you because you're going to be like, okay, what are the questions that I need to answer? That's what you're going to do. You're going to answer some really important questions.
For sure.
And that's going to kind of dictate what's next.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really excited. It's kind of like really stepping out.
Yeah.
For somebody like who every single Sunday I've served, it's honestly gonna be so weird when people come up to me and are like, "Why aren't you back at the soundboard? Why aren't you back
Why
doing
are you
this?"
back there?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what you should respond to them. Like,
Yeah. I'd be
why
like,
are you back there?
"Why don't you do it?" Yeah. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be restful, and I'm surrounded by great people. So
Mhm.
the outcome is not gonna be something sticky or
It
weird.
can only be good.
It's gonna be good.
All right, so I think that's a big takeaway for everyone watching. Feel free to take that time to, ask your pastor. Of course, you're not going off and saying, "All right, I'm taking a month break, so I don't get burnt out." No, you ask your pastor, see what they think, and kind of get the direction, and then go with it. And you should feel the freedom to be able to do that.
Yeah,
right? You should be able
for
to
sure.
say, "All right, I'm going to hand this off to someone else. Let somebody else kind of take the reins." And it's all going to work out fine because God's got this and
Yeah.
it's going to be good.
Paul felt the freedom to do anything.
Yeah.
Because, in the new covenant, God's grace is so abundant.
Yeah.
Paul could have literally been doing craziest stuff, but still
Or
believe
just
in
send him a
God.
letter.
And yeah, and the Lord would still love him just as much. But Paul chose because he had that freedom in mind. Like,
Yeah.
he knew he could do whatever. But because of that freedom, he then launched from that place and did all the amazing and crazy stuff that Paul did.
Yeah. And a lot of it from a prison cell.
Yeah.
So he's not even working on starting churches.
No.
and his churches are getting started because he was able to replicate himself.
The moment that you feel free in a prison cell is the moment you know you're in God's hand.
Come on, dude.
For sure.
That needs to be a t-shirt.
Let's go.
That's so good, man.
Make
All
a
right.
sticker, man.
Make a sticker. Put it on your phone.
There we go, dude.
Thank you so much, man.
Dude,
This was
of
awesome.
course.